Tonight, local reaction to the expansion of U.S. tariffs on Canadian goods. Tragedy in the water at Regina Beach. And should Brand have more control of real properties for longer?
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. With the United States escalating trade tariffs on Canadian goods, many are wondering, how will Saskatchewan respond? The provincial NDP is calling for American liquor to be taken off of store shelves once again, but how much of an impact will that have? Hallie Mandrick has more on the calls to lose the booze.
Following the most recent round of tariffs imposed by the United States, pulling American liquor from the shelves has once again become a topic of debate among provincial leaders.
So that will be one, I think, of many discussions that we have here in our province of Saskatchewan.
With the 50% tariff now impacting many Canadian goods, most provinces have taken American liquor off the shelves, and the provincial NDP is calling on the Saskatchewan government to follow suit.
And Scott Moe's still helping American producers sell their products here in Saskatchewan, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's time to fight back. American liquor should be removed from the shelves today.
One expert says, in comparison to other goods hit by the tariffs, liquor sales have less of an impact.
By itself, it's rather insignificant compared to energy and minerals and resources and so the vehicles and finished goods.
But Willoughby says the discourse surrounding this particular product is likely about more than its dollar value.
Because of its perception, because of its usage, because of its now becoming an influence point, a trigger point for a lot of these continued debates, to me, that's why it needs to be explored.
According to the opposition, this topic boils down to standing in solidarity with the rest of the country.
Whether the Saskatchewanian is a consumer of the alcohol, we want them to recognize and feel proud of the fact that we're standing together with all of Canada.
Saskatchewan has previously pulled American liquor from the shelves, but Moe says this time around might require a different course of action.
If it had worked, we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in. So nothing that we have done today has worked. There's been different avenues, different approaches, and we are in a new environment now. We in this province of Saskatchewan, but also we collectively as 10 provinces and 3 territories.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Now, Saskatchewan businesses are looking at this tariffs and wondering what impact it'll have on their bottom line. Analysts suggest that the province won't be hit as hard as other provinces right now in Canada. But as Wayne Mantika tells us, those that will be hit are going to feel the impact pretty hard.
Saskatchewan produces more honey per capita than any other province. The over 100 beekeepers relied on the American market for 15 to 20% of sales. That will be wiped out by the 50% Trump tariff.
It'll be going to places like Europe and Southeast Asia and trying to develop those markets out. But that's not an immediate short-term solution that we can go to them tomorrow and all of a sudden have them accepting Canadian honey.
Some analysts believe the province may not be as hard hit by tariffs as some other provinces.
Saskatchewan's reasonably insulated. Like if there's a tariff on agricultural machinery parts or one thing that's come up, so there'll be some targeted stuff. The kind of back of the envelope stuff I've seen from economists say we will be the most insulated. Ontario or BC will be the hardest hit because of auto and forestry.
The Prime Minister has pledged that Canada will match American tariffs dollar for dollar. Ralph Goodale is a member of the Prime Minister's Advisory Committee on Canada-U.S. relations.
The Canadian response has to be carefully thought through, carefully calibrated to make sure that we're having the maximum impact economically and politically in the United States with the minimum blowback in Canada.
Saskatchewan business hopes the tariff dispute can be resolved soon.
What matters most right now to not only local but all businesses is a strategic response from our federal government and a pathway back to the table to ultimately land on a deal that provides predictability, stability, and a fair deal.
Among larger Saskatchewan industries impacted could be forestry and steelmaking, all forced to adapt to what could be a long-term shift in Canada-U.S. trade relations. Wayne Mantika, CTV News, Regina.
An 8-year-old boy is dead following a water-related emergency on Regina Beach late last week. On Friday at around 3:50 p.m., Lumsden RCMP responded to a call at Regina Beach. It was located around 50 kilometers northwest of Regina. Mounties and paramedics responded to the area where a child was found in the water and was declared dead at the scene. The Saskatchewan Coroner Service has taken over the sudden death investigation. RCMP noted that due to there being no element of criminality in this death, no further details will be released. The 8-year-old family has been notified. This morning, Nerissa Cuisance appeared by video in Yorkton King's Bench Court. Along with her sister Odelia, they were convicted of second-degree murder in the 1993 death of Kamsack resident Anthony Dolph. That conviction is now under federal review. The Crown agreed to an adjournment while a dispute over the proper court process is resolved. No new court date was set, and the matter is now pending before the Registrar and Associate Chief Justice. Family members demand justice for the killing of Drew Jack from Carry the Kettle, Nakota Nation after the teenager who was convicted of his death was sentenced. Jack died from a gunshot wound on March 21st, 2025, although the teenager responsible for his death received the maximum youth sentence of 3 years. The family of Jack says they feel justice was denied. In a statement to CTV News, members say they are disappointed that an adult sentence was not pursued given the seriousness of the case. That when the days in custody are over, someone will walk out and continue his life, but our family will continue serving a life sentence of grief. Jack's family also say they feel changes to the Youth Criminal Justice Act need to be made to better reflect how victims and families are treated through the judicial process. Well, it'll be an interesting council meeting inside Henry Baker Hall. Regina City Councillors on Wednesday will be considering a proposed extension to Brant's operation of Mosaic Stadium and other facilities in the Real District. Jacob Carr has the details.
Regina City Council is being asked to approve changes that could allow Brant to continue operating and maintaining several major city facilities for up to 20 years. City documents that were released ahead of Wednesday's council meeting show that Executive Committee is asking council to approve changes to a non-binding term sheet reached with Brant back in April. If approved, the changes would provide a longer-term framework for Brant's involvement in the operation and maintenance of Mosaic Stadium, the Cooperator Centre, Affinity Plex, and Confederation Park. The proposal, which was considered behind closed doors by Executive Committee on August 19th, would also remove the existing mutual termination for convenience provision. CTV News caught up with Mayor Chad Baczynski over the weekend. He did not offer details regarding the new recommendation, but did speak about Brant's ongoing purchase of other real properties, including the Brant Centre, Queensbury Convention Centre, and Agribition Building.
They're still working towards a closing date of September 1st, so I know there's been lots of work, lots of due diligence. I'm sure anybody who's driven past can see the work that's happening on campus with the Queen City Distiller site already. So, but the finalized kind of details agreement, my understanding is they're still targeting to get it done early September.
Brant did not respond to our request for comment in time for deadline, but according to city documents, the company determined that separating management of those 4 facilities is expected to result in less efficient operations on the real campus. However, they did put out a release announcing some of the leadership team that will be working at Queen City Distillers. City Council is expected to consider the recommendations regarding Mosaic Stadium, the Cooperator Centre, Confederation Park, and Affinity Plex at Wednesday's meeting. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
A Regina City Councillor wants to review the possibility of making council positions full-time jobs. David Froh is expected to introduce a motion this week with larger discussion at council next month. Depending on the results of the review, the concept could come with higher pay and more administrative supports, but with less people on council due to a possible reduction in wards. Currently, councillors work on a part-time basis, which Froh argues results in a high workload with growing demands. Froh is calling to have the results of any review sometime next year to make recommendations ahead of the next municipal election that happens in 2028. City of Regina says it's no longer accepting new requests for aphid spraying. The city says it is aware of higher than usual aphid activity this season, which has been driven by dry heat, but expects the activity will decline naturally as the season ends. The seasonal spraying program is also close to wrapping up, meaning no new requests will be accepted. Officials suggest spraying foliage with water to disrupt aphids as a temporary solution for heavy infestations. Sabine joins us now with our first look at weather. Yeah, Sabine, my car basically just looks like a sticky trap, so because of that aphid stuff. So rain helps, we gonna get any rain this week?
Yeah, no. You maybe, well, I'll talk more about that coming up. There's a slight chance for some scattered precipitation, but yeah, Lee's not lying. The car does look like it's covered in glue. But in terms of rain to clear that, I don't think we're getting enough anytime soon to help that. So we might have to all pitch in and help scrub all that glue off the car. But if we talk about temperatures, we did still stay within seasonal temperatures, and it was a mix of sun and cloud for most part for the Regina area anyway. We're seeing some mixed weather conditions in Saskatchewan. To the north, we're seeing some severe thunderstorm watches, which now actually look like they may be lifting gradually. We're seeing some heavier rainfall in parts in the north, but when it comes to central southern Saskatchewan, not so much in the rain department, and that's actually just going to continue at least for the next few days. Temperatures still remaining in the mid to high 20s for many parts, starting to cool down for some areas due to that rain, but I'll have more details coming up in your full forecast. Lee?
Thank you, Sabine. 5 months after the federal government told the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations to repay $29 million in funding, pointing to a third-party forensic audit, they're still waiting. As Keenan Sorokon tells us, the minister that oversees Indigenous services is warning the FSIN to respond soon.
More than 5 months after a forensic audit called for nearly $29 million to be repaid, the federal government has yet to hear from the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations.
Information was provided. We are waiting for that next step of response.
In March, Indigenous Services Canada sent a letter to the FSIN outlining close to $29 million of ineligible or unsupported spending over a 5-year period. In an interview with CTV the following month, Golmasti said this can't go unanswered forever.
I'm trying to hold that space, but this is not a space with unlimited time.
Golmasti is being tight-lipped about the audit and what happens next. She says the FSIN is ultimately accountable to the 74 nations it represents.
I'm not going to answer further questions until we're able to really get clarity on what is going to be the next step forward and how chiefs are going to take their decisions.
In 2013, the federal government introduced the First Nations Financial Transparency Act, which required annual audited financial statements to be publicly disclosed. 2 years later, the act was no longer being enforced as Ottawa looked to work alongside First Nations. Golmasti says she has no intentions of reinforcing the policy.
Ensuring that the accountability between leadership and their community members is defined.
CTV News reached out to the FSIN for comment but did not get a response.
Everybody who's in a leadership role, this is part of your mantra. You're not just being voted into a role. Your role is to make decisions and to support the community.
The FSIN originally had until April 2nd to respond to the audit, and now it's anyone's guess when any formal response or resolution could happen. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
It was an important weekend in Fort Carlton, commemorating 150 years since Treaty 6 was signed. First Nations leaders, dignitaries, and community members gathered to reflect on the treaty's history and its continuing role today. Stacey Hine was there and has the details.
150 years after Treaty 6 was signed at Fort Carlton, people were back at the site to mark the milestone. For 89-year-old Mary Victorine Lafond, it was a return to a familiar place. 50 years ago, she was here for the 100th anniversary of Treaty 6. This time, she's back with her daughter.
Very emotional. It's quite heartbreaking, but it's also been empowering.
Diane Lafond is the First Nations Health Ombudsman. She said First Nations continue to advocate for their treaty rights and that more needs to be done to improve health care for Indigenous communities.
We need a healthcare system that's going to acknowledge our traditional health and our traditional medicines, you know.
The responsibilities that come with Treaty 6 were also part of the conversation at Fort Carlton.
Today is not simply about remembering history. It is about recognizing that Treaty 6 is a living, enduring document. It speaks to the relationship between First Nations and Canada that guides that relationship.
Governor General Louise Arbour represented the Crown and said honoring the treaty means continuing to build trust for the future.
More than ever, our collective well-being depends on the trust that we place on one another. Today marks our commitment to keeping that trust alive.
Premier Scott Moe also spoke about the responsibilities that come with the treaty and the importance of working together for future generations.
We should talk and we should move forward together. We won't always agree. However, if we continue to talk and we can set our differences aside, we can truly build something that's better for tomorrow, for our children, for the next generation.
A new monument is also being installed at the historic site. The 50-foot steel teepee is a joint project between Treaty 6 First Nations and the province.
I think it's very important to have a monument. It's something that's going to be there for a long time for our future generations to see.
While this event wraps up, Treaty 6 commemoration continues next month at Fort Pitt, another site where the treaty was negotiated and signed. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Fort Carlton.
A 2-year memorandum of understanding was signed today between MITAX and the Petroleum Technology Research Center. The deal supplies the funding necessary for attracting clients in the energy sector, as well as providing support for internship programs and the research in the industry. Some of that new research includes oil field screening processes, underground hydrogen storage, and CO2-based oil recovery.
MITAX for many years has been very important to the PTRC's success in bringing academic research to industry and to the world that helps do things like increase oil production in an environmentally friendly way, or figure out how to do things like geothermal energy on the swimming pool complex.
The agreement is also creating engagement with Indigenous institutions and communities through MITAC's Indigenous Pathways initiative.
Still ahead, the U.S. president ups the ante when it comes to the trade war with Canada and celebrating Ukraine's independence in the midst of a Russian invasion.
Verbal insults are not the only tactic U.S. President Donald Trump is using in the latest trade war with Canada. Today, he announced starting next year 50% tariffs on cars, trucks, auto parts, and steel after those talks collapsed. And Prime Minister Mark Carney vowed to match U.S. tariffs dollar for dollar. Mike LeCouture is the latest.
At the White House, President Donald Trump said nothing about the collapsed trade negotiations, instead doing his talking on social media. Repeating a claim that the U.S. doesn't need Canada, Trump also threatened to increase tariffs on the auto and steel sectors to 50% starting January 1st.
There is a mutually beneficial deal possible here.
While trying to remain hopeful, Prime Minister Mark Carney pushed back on any suggestion that Canada can't survive without the Americans.
An attitude at the negotiation table that Canada is a subsidiary of the United States. The Canadian industry is going to be disadvantaged relative to American industry. That's not something we're going to accept.
While Carney chose his words carefully, Ontario Premier Doug Ford went after Trump on radio.
Well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam.
That comment may have teed off Trump, who responded online with another post, calling Carney governor and Ford a flunky for the Prime Minister.
You know, your own people, President Trump, don't even like you. And they're going to speak loud and clear when it comes to the midterms. And if I was allowed to, I'd be down there door knocking.
Ford also floated the idea of export taxes on products the U.S. needs, like energy, potash, and critical minerals. It's something premiers and the Prime Minister have been hesitant to consider, but in French, Carney said all options are on the table. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling for the text of the failed deal to be made public.
Canadians need to know what it is that we are rejecting. My view is that we need to fight for tariff-free trade.
The Prime Minister has threatened dollar-for-dollar counter tariffs on the U.S. starting the day after Labor Day. Details of what Canada will target are expected Tuesday morning. We're also anticipating to hear about government relief measures for workers and businesses affected by American tariffs. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
The United States is warning every country that does business with Iran to sever those financial ties or face retaliation. The American Treasury Secretary announcing a new round of sanctions today.
These measures broaden secondary sanctions risk for anyone foolish enough to continue conducting business with this regime and will accelerate the speed with which we pursue them.
Scott Bessent warned countries that there's a set deadline to stop activities opposed to by Washington or face action from the U.S. Treasury. Bessent calls the measures the single greatest financial offensive ever against an adversary. The move is part of a shift in strategy using economic pressure to try to break the deadlock with Tehran, but the U.S. is still not ruling out military force. Ukraine marking the 35th anniversary of its independence, and Regina was among communities to hold an event on the weekend to mark that occasion. The outdoor program featured traditional dance and cultural displays. However, the celebrations were overshadowed by Ukraine's ongoing fight with Russia.
Being able to share and promote Ukrainian culture has been so important, and celebrating events such like this, the 35th year of independence, when they are fighting for it right now, it couldn't be more important.
About 9,000 Ukrainians have arrived in Saskatchewan since the start of the war with Russia 4.5 years ago.
Still ahead, are we seeing a monarch butterfly boom on the Canadian prairies?
Let's take a look at what is coming up this week. It's Monday. Wow, what's coming up this week for your weather? Now, I'm going to show you what's popping up on the radar satellite, because there's a slight chance we could start to see some rain come through the Regina area. But today we've remained a mix of sun and cloud, currently sitting at 22 degrees. Winds, however, have been gusting pretty high, gusting up to about 50, just over 50 kilometers an hour for most of this afternoon. We did warm up to 25 degrees, and now this is what we're looking at. You can see right around where we are, we're starting to see the system coming through parts of Regina. So we could possibly see some rain making its way through. Also good news for our friends in the north. We're starting to see those severe thunderstorm watches lift in the north. So this system is continuing to rotate, making its way into Manitoba, where we're seeing many of those severe thunderstorm watches in effect for our friends there. And that'll continue making its way through. So this system will continue rotating later this evening, clearing out of Saskatchewan, leaving us with mostly clear conditions for tomorrow morning. The east there, especially in the Parkland, we're looking at a cloudy start to the day, but as that system continues heading into Manitoba, by the afternoon we'll see much of that clear, leaving us with another pretty clear and sunny day for most of the province tomorrow. And that will basically continue into Wednesday and into Thursday. So the rain that we were hoping to get for, not just for moisture in the land, but also into the ground, but also for us to clear off Lee's car, isn't happening anytime soon. Not until probably about Sunday, and you'll see that coming up in your 7-day forecast. But in terms of temperatures, we're going to continue sitting at within seasonal for our lows. La Loche, Lloydminster at about 9 degrees, and within seasonal for our daytime highs. 24 and mainly sunny for La Loche and La Ronge, 24 and a mix of sun and cloud for Prince Albert tomorrow, and Lloydminster nothing but sunshine and 25 degrees there. 25 also for North Battleford with a mix of sun and clouds. Saskatoon, of course, with that system that's continuing to move eastward, could see a low risk of a thunderstorm tonight. Did see some rain throughout the day today, but tomorrow 24 and mainly sunny. Yorkton also could see some light rain tonight. 15 is the low, warming to 23 tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud in the southwest. Again, nothing but sunshine for Maple Creek and Swift Current. 27 tomorrow, 26 and sunny for Moose Jaw with a low risk of some scattered precipitation tonight with a low of 13 degrees. And over in the southeast, very nice temperatures for our lows. We're above seasonal for Weyburn and Estevan at 14, and then tomorrow warming up to 26 for Weyburn with a mix of sun and cloud, 26 and sunny for Assiniboia and Estevan, 25 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud. And if we take a look at Regina tonight, 14 degrees with the winds up to about 45 kilometers an hour, and then tomorrow 23 with mainly sunny conditions and winds up to 40 kilometers an hour. As for the rest, well, the next 7 days, Sunday is the day that we can expect some rain and high winds, but let's talk about the next few days. 23 mainly sunny. By Wednesday, warming to 26, nothing but sunshine. Winds quite nice, up to about 15 kilometers an hour. Thursday, 29 and nothing but sunshine. Friday, mainly sunny, 28 degrees. Saturday, of course, is game day at Mosaic Stadium. Mainly sunny, 27 degrees. Winds picking up just a bit at about 40 kilometers an hour. And then later Saturday evening is when we could expect to see some of that rain. And then by Sunday, expecting to see more of that rain continuing throughout the day with a low risk of a thunderstorm in the afternoon. 21 is the expected high, so a little cooler than our average daytime high with those winds gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour. And then by Monday, we're back into average daytime high territory. 24 is the expected daytime high with a mix of sun and cloud. As of right now, we're not looking at a drop in those temperatures apart from that Sunday. A couple degrees cooler, but we're still looking at 20s for our daytime highs.
That's not too bad. Now I'll have to wait till Sunday before the car looks better.
But we also know between now and Sunday that could change. So
yeah,
ask me closer to the weekend.
All right. Thank you, Sabine.
You bet.
Well, it's a beautiful spectacle only seen in the summer months. Monarch butterflies flooding around your garden. And this year especially, Canadians have taken note of the frequency. Alison Bamford has more on the butterfly boom and what it means for the endangered species.
Tyler Flockhart studies monarch butterflies. He's fascinated by the resilience of something so fragile.
You have an insect that weighs as much as a quarter that can fly all the way from southern Canada all the way to Mexico and then back in the spring. It's pretty remarkable.
Monarch butterflies are an endangered species in Canada and not common on the prairies. But this year, the ecologist is seeing more than usual in Saskatoon, a sign that we could be in the midst of a butterfly boom.
We know that when monarchs are at fairly good numbers in the summer, they start showing up in places where you are in the western provinces.
People across the prairies are taking note, patiently capturing the tiny details of metamorphosis from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. Experts say it's common for insect populations to fluctuate. Favorable weather conditions likely contributed to this year's numbers.
Over the long term, we're still in a state where the populations are considerably lower than what they had been.
Habitat loss, particularly the loss of milkweed plants, seems to be the main driver behind the declining population. Flockhart is now part of a larger group looking into the monarch's exact habitat locations, using these tiny tags to track where the monarchs go and when they go there. Information that he says could help in conservation.
Particularly for the prairie provinces, it gives us information to understand how important are the prairies to the monarch population as a whole.
Some monarchs have already started migrating. Flockhart hopes to begin tagging butterflies as soon as possible so their flights south can be tracked in real time. Alison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Still ahead, Saskatchewan stumbles in BC as turnovers and penalties get the best of the Riders.
Here's what's happening in our community. The summer gathering market will be held on August 29th at 9 a.m. at the Holy Cross Parish on 315 Douglas Avenue East. For more details, call 306-537-1607. And the annual trunk sale will also be held on August 29th, starting at 10 a.m. at the Little Flower Parish at 420 College Avenue. For all the details, you can call 306-543-0915. Submit your event to our community by visiting our website, ctvregina.ca, and click Community Calendar or scan the QR code on your screen.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders have lost back-to-back games for the first time this season, dropping a 30-16 decision in BC last night.
To the 23 of the Riders' work with time again. Touchdown!
Nathan Rourke threw a pair of touchdowns and 355 passing yards. Rider quarterback Trevor Harris threw for 356, but had 2 interceptions along with his TD. But it was penalties that would prove to be costly for the Green and White, taking 2 touchdowns and an interception off the board.
You know, we were on such a damn good trajectory early in the season. I think like 2 weeks ago, we were number one in the league in taking penalties. And now we've kind of shot ourselves in the foot. I think we had 7 or 8 tonight. Last week, I think we had 8. So we got to get back to doing it. But it's not just the yards of the penalty. It's how expensive they are and what it actually takes off the board for your team.
Yeah, just miscommunication type stuff that we'll always keep in house. I've got to make sure that I don't do that emotionally, but obviously, when you're invested like we are, you're going to have some emotions fly out. I was pissed off in the moment. Stuff that we've got to make sure that we talk about and make sure we hammer out and get better, and I promise you we will. The only thing guaranteed in pro football is adversity, and we got a little adversity here, and that's something that I think will be catalyst for us and allow us to find out who we are and who we want to be moving forward.
Riders dropped to 6-4, still second in the West. They'll look to bounce back at home Saturday versus Toronto. For those who are hoping maybe receiver Dante Myers could return to help the Riders out, it does not look like he's leaving the Bengals anytime soon.
Last week in his Bengals preseason debut this year. Going short, Dante Myers. You want to see more Dante Myers, and there he is.
For the second straight preseason game, Myers was busy, made 5 catches for 41 yards, along with a 9-yard run and 88 yards in punt and kickoff returns. The receiver has been highly praised by the quarterbacks, including Joe Burrow, and some Cincinnati media have already penciled him in on the roster to start the season. Bengals' final preseason game will be Friday, with the deadline for camp cuts scheduled for next Sunday. Regina Thunder held their home opener on the weekend, and the junior football club kept their undefeated season going. The Thunder had almost 600 yards offense, led by running back Peter Borsch, running for 206 yards and 2 touchdowns on 17 carries. That's a 12-yard average per carry, first down every time. The Thunder, they beat the Rifles 60-35, improving the record to 3-0.
I feel good about it. It looks good, and I'm glad everybody came to cheer us on. 1 week at a time, and just win it. Let's go.
Regina Thunder will face the Edmonton Huskies at its next home game. That's Sunday, August 30th at 1 p.m. Regina diver continues to springboard her career on the international level. 18-year-old Lila Stewart won silver in the 1-meter springboard event this past weekend at the Junior World Championships in Croatia. She is also competing in 3 other events at these World Championships. And earlier this year, Stewart won the 1-meter springboard at the Summer Senior Nationals.
Once again, I love her help. Still ahead, documenting the history of a Saskatchewan small town.
Welcome back. We're going to take a look at your rural forecast for tomorrow. Much of the same. We're going to see a mix of sun and cloud, especially to start the day. By the time we get into the afternoon, more sunshine is expected, but those temperatures still staying within the seasonal range, if not a little warmer. 24 degrees for Hudson Bay and Watrous, 23 for Wynyard and Melfort and Spiritwood, and 25 and nothing but sunshine for Meadow Lake and Lloydminster, warming to 26 degrees for Kindersley and Outlook with nothing but sunshine there. Closer to the southern border, much of the same. The southeast looking at temperatures around 23 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud, and over in the southwest a little warmer. Maple Creek 27, along with Coronach, actually a lot of sunshine there. 26 and sunny for Rockland and Rosetown, 25 for Assiniboia and sunny. Leader 28 and 24 degrees for East End Cypress. Lumsden and Pilot Butte mainly sunny and 23 degrees. If we take a closer look at Lipton, where internet speeds up to 1 gig available through SaskTel, located about 90 kilometers northeast of Regina, and yes, it is in fact named after Sir Thomas Lipton, the founder of Lipton Tea. We'll be warming up to 23 degrees tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud. We'll feel more like 26. There is also a low chance of some showers in the afternoon, but a great day expected for Lipton.
The incident happened on August the 10th, 2026 at around 8 o'clock in the morning on the 1900 block of Hamilton Street in downtown Regina. Two men broke into a business through the front door and proceeded to steal several items from inside. The men are seen with distinctive clothing when entering the business. Specifically, one of them had the word Japan in red across the front of his shirt and Hollister down the sleeve. If you know who either of these two men are, call Crime Stoppers.
I'm Belton Johnson, board member with Regina Crime Stoppers. Did you know Crime Stoppers will pay up to $2,000 cash rewards for information on this or any other serious crime in Regina? Callers do not have to identify themselves. Calls are not traced or recorded. In Regina, Saskatchewan, in Canada, call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. That's 1-800-222-8477. You can also access our website at www.reginacrimestoppers.ca. Remember, our community suffers when you remain silent. Please report crime.
Crime Stoppers is brought to you by Leak Audiology, helping you live well with better hearing.
A new museum has opened its doors in Stockholm, Saskatchewan, telling the history of how the province has developed throughout the years. Regina has the details.
3 years in the making, the new community museum in Stockholm opened its gates for the first time on Saturday, celebrating the village's history dating back to the 1880s.
We want to bring history alive. We wanted to make sure that it stays alive. And that was the whole reason we started this. Because if we didn't start it, it wasn't going to happen.
The village of Stockholm was first settled by Swedish immigrants in the late 19th century, followed by an influx of Hungarians from nearby Esterhazy.
Hungarians became the north, Swedish community became the south, and it took years, but those two communities eventually intermarried and just kind of intermingled, and it became one community.
The result is an entire area of close-knit small communities, including Bangor, Dubuque, and Stockholm, all excited for the new museum.
Like we had people dive in and just cut grass and sweep it and get it ready for the beer gardens. You know, like they just wanted to help.
The grand opening attracted hundreds with free meals and entertainment.
It gives me a lump in my throat, to be honest with you, because I went to bed last night hoping we get more than 20 people. And here we are. Everybody's here. Everybody's having a great time. The weather is perfect.
Community members also donated each and every artifact in the museum, telling their unique stories.
I think the most intriguing thing for me is we have a veteran who was in the Nuremberg trials. He was a guard, and that was in 1946.
As of now, the exhibition is only one room, with a second story to expand.
We're adding more and more items all the time. I don't want to talk about expansion just yet because we're just opening, but who knows, right?
The party went on until midnight, but the museum will hopefully carry on forever. Regina, CTV News, Stockholm.
The 24th edition of I Love Regina Day took over Victoria Park on Saturday. In his second I Love Regina Day as City Mayor Chad Bashinsky reflected on the changes that he's seen in the Queen City over the last year.
Well, I think just because we're at I Love Regina Day, I think when we talk about some of the downtown revitalization efforts, seeing some of that start to happen. We see some momentum there. We're seeing some work happen of actual developments, downtown. We see the square space that's been activated now. So I think there's movement and momentum happening, and I think that's what I've been proud of. Is that things do take time, but I think there's a yearning to see action and see people to see the results of what we've been talking about.
Lots to do there, a lot of children activities, live local entertainment, petting zoo, and a free barbecue. An annual event saw superheroes rappel down a building in downtown Regina for a good cause. As part of the Easter Seal Sask Drop Zone, participants went 21 stories down a Hill Center Tower 2 to raise funds for Camp Easter Seal, Adaptive Technology Services, and Summer Fun. Ahead of the event, participants needed to raise $1,000 to support the organizations that help those with disabilities live life to the fullest. In its 17th year, the event has become a symbol of courage and community, according to organizers, with more than $2 million raised since it began. The weather was perfect in Regina for the 9th annual Shake the Lake concert series.
Scared of my ashes in a hotel.
South Basin got the party started at the Connexus Arts Center lawn. The two-day festival was headlined by Sugar Ray and Smash Mouth. Formal attendance haven't been released, but organizers estimate about 4,500 people were there. Farm board canola street price down almost $10 to $718.65 per ton, while the futures price dropped by more than $23 to $770.60 per ton. Amber Durum wheat, no movement, $203.59 per ton. Red Spring wheat's up 73 cents to $289.46 per ton. Feed barley, $203.59 per ton, and flax is $610.54 per ton. Prices courtesy of Bunge and Ice Futures Canada. TSX up 93 points. The Dow Jones up 140 points when it comes to the markets. As for the Canadian dollar, it went down a little more than 0.4 cents to 72.72 cents U.S. On a commodity front, gold up 17 cents. West Texas Intermediate crude up at $2.05, and Western Canadian Select crude is up 57 cents. In Regina, gas, is currently sitting right now at most places for $1.76.9 cents per liter.
One estimate puts 52,000 positions directly at risk and another 35,000 indirectly at risk. Analysis shows Ontario, Quebec, and BC being the hardest hit provinces, with concentrated job losses in machinery, electronics, plastics, and rubber. But the domino effect means other provinces will also feel this. The Prime Minister has promised to support industries affected by the new 50% markup, but it's not yet clear what that will look like. Before trade talks broke down, there were reports that Washington was ready to lower tariffs on Canadian steel exports and vehicles headed to the U.S. As a result, those stocks are getting hit hard today. Algoma Steel is down 13%. Linamar makes vehicle components. Its stock dropped over 8%. And then Magna makes auto parts. Its stock is down 6.5%. It's the final day for WestJet flight attendants to vote on a contract. Their union says the agreement includes an 18% wage hike over 3 years and compensation for work done when the plane is still on the ground. That was a key demand of flight attendants. They went on strike for a day earlier this month, forcing WestJet to cancel over 900 flights. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marella Fernandez.
Coming up tonight after the newscast, we have American Ninja Warrior, then Match Game, Big Bang Theory, and E-Talk, a shortened day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot happening there.
What are you talking about? Some great shows.
Yeah. Okay.
Na.
Batman!
That theme's so iconic and recognizable, no matter how it's played.
So the Irish band Emar came up.
Sure.
Is that how you say it?
I don't know.
Okay. Came up with this rendition when they stumbled upon this Gotham Road sign in England. It's a real village close to Nottingham. And Bruce Wayne technically has Irish ancestry, so this just is a perfect remake. I like that. Oh.
Irish Batman's costume would be green now.
Dark green.
Obsidian.
With hints of orange. Okay. A summer relationship turned into a bigger commitment than a college grad was expecting.
I know you can jump. You did it last night. There you go.
So Teddy the peacock, abandoned while still in the egg, later hatched in an incubator and took a shining to Morgan Stefan, who was just visiting this North Dakota farm for the summer. Stefan found herself the unofficial mother when the baby peacock kind of imprinted on her and now rarely leaves her side. Another egg is soon set to hatch, which will hopefully provide Teddy a new pen pal and let Morgan kind of out of this parent trap.
Okay, but that's kind of cute.
Doesn't look much like a peacock, does it? It's so small.
No, that's why I wasn't sure, but I mean, I guess they...
No, peacocks don't start as babies. They just bang. Peacocks.
It's Monday. It's just Monday so far, guys.
Mrs. Peacock.